Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great opportunity to have, in these times, a professor from Iran here in Vienna. And it was not easy to get him here. And I also would like to introduce not only Professor Kermashari, but also his wife, Mahsima Moghaddasi. She couldn't come with him, but will be also present to give answers if you have questions during the discussion. Well, Professor Kermashari, I would like to invite you to start.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, everybody. This is Shabab Kermashari. It is my honor to be here in the beautiful city of Vienna. Thanks to Professor Knaflacher, thanks to Club of Vienna, thanks to many people who helped me to be here, Ms. Sigrid and Mr. Muhammad Aminian, all of you. You are the reason that I'm here now, and this opportunity was prepared by your efforts. Thank you very much. Here, me and my wife, Mahsima Moghaddasi, are going to present a story about a highway which has death before it's born, and this highway get into a public space. And this story is from the cities of Iran, and I will introduce you. But as you say, ladies first. So I want to ask my wife Mahsima to start the presentation, and then I will add your service, and the presentation will continue. Thank you.
Hello. With all due respect, I graduated from the University of Tehran in urban engineering with a master's degree in urban management. At now, I work in Natural Disaster Research Institute as a researcher. I was supposed to talk about my experience of the active presence and effect of NGOs in Iran's urban administration. But unfortunately, I was unable to attend as I couldn't get the visa. Regardless, I'm pleased to be online now, and based on my research on the role and position of NGOs in urban policymaking in Iran, NGOs will be able to make changes in urban policymaking in Iran. NGOs will be able to make changes in urban management policies by having the characteristics that I now express. Number one, being an expert in urban planning and urban law. Number two, collaborate and participate NGOs across the country with each other through the creation of a national network. Number three, understanding how to effectively communicate with citizens and urban managers. These results were confirmed by examining the success factors of NGOs in stopping the construction of Mashhad Southern Highway in Iran. Mashhad is the second largest city in Iran after Tehran. This city attracts about 25 million travelers from both inside and outside the country every year. In addition to its own citizens, the attractiveness of investing in the construction of accommodation for travelers has caused this issue to become an effective topic in urban management policies. Mashhad NGOs were able to succeed by collaborating with NGOs across Iran, clarifying development documents that the city administration used as a reason to continue constructing the southern highways, and as well as holding meeting with specialists associated with the project and broadcasting this meeting online on Instagram for the citizens and collecting the signatures of experts, citizens across Iran to appeal to national decision makers to stop the construction of the southern belt of Mashhad from continuing. Through their efforts, the decision makers at the national level realized the ecological importance of the southern highlands of Mashhad, and the area was established for the use of green and recreational space for the public and in the interest of pedestrians and cyclists. Another important point that I want mention is that due to the past destruction in the southern highlands of Mashhad in May 2024, a destructive flood occurred in this area and killing about 10 people and causing a lot of damage to infrastructure and residential units. If the destruction of this area continues and the highway is completely built, more damage will definitely be done in these areas. Now, I ask Dr. Kermanshah to continue and describe the traffic aspects of this topic. I thank you, and thanks to Professor Knaflacher, and thanks to Club of Vienna. Thank you from your attention.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I will share. Thank you. So being in front of the hero of transportation planning and revolutionary transportation planning and speak is very hard for me, but as Professor Knaflacher wants me to do this, I will use this opportunity and say something, and I will be very happy to use the comments and the discussion part. So we will start. As Professor Knaflacher introduced me to you, I should say my expertise in transportation planning, and I work in the urban planning school, University of Tehran. And as my wife said, she's a researcher. His master is in urban management in University of Tehran. A very short introduction of Iran. A very, very short. Iran is in the Western Asia, beside Iraq, Turkey, Azerbaijan, Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan, and Persian Gulf and Oman Sea. At a glance, the area of Iran is 1.6 million square kilometer, and the population is more than 86 million. The capital is Tehran. Maybe some of you had before trip to Tehran. There are 9 cities with more than 1 million inhabitants in Iran. The first is capital Tehran with 9.2. The second is Mashhad. I think it is not visible, but the second is Mashhad. The third is Isfahan, and we have 6 other cities: Karaj, Shiraz, Tabriz. Shiraz, maybe it's familiar with some of you. Yeah. Yeah, and Ahvaz, and Kermanshah the last. So you see that Tehran with 9.2 is the capital, and Mashhad, the city in the northeast of Tehran, near Afghanistan and Turkmenistan, at the northeast, far northeast of Iran, is the city which we are going to talk about today. So what about Mashhad? Mashhad is the, we call it in Iran, the spiritual capital of Iran, because the Holy Shrine of Imam Reza, one of the the 8th Shiite Imam is there. The area is more than 300 square kilometers. The population, as I told you, is 3.2. And more than, the numbers are different, as my wife said, more than 25 million, between 25 and 30 million pilgrims per year are visiting Mashhad, most of them from Iran, but from Iraq, Bahrain, Pakistan, and other countries, but most of them are Iranian. So, we're not going to talk about Mashhad, but a very specific story in Mashhad. As you see, Mashhad is a rectangular city, which the main part and the historical part about the Holy Shrine is here, and the extension of Mashhad is to west, northwest. Here in the south of Mashhad and in the western part, we have some heights, some not very high mountains, but more than hills, some heights. They call it Southern Heights and Western Heights. This area is in the focus in this presentation, and we are talking about it. As you saw in the here in the map, Mashhad is not a central city in Iran like Isfahan, Tehran. It is not in the intersection of roads. It is in the northeast of Iran, and there are not many large cities beside Mashhad. Most of the cities are less than 100,000 inhabitants. So there is not a true traffic in Mashhad for accessing other cities. So having a ring road or a belt for this type of city may be considerable, maybe not working. But there are one belt in the north, and from 35 years ago, the story of the southern belt starts. So our story is about the southern belt, which means the ring road in the southern part of Mashhad. And here in Mashhad is some, the Beverly Hills of Mashhad is here. It makes sense here, I think, and in Austria maybe something like that. It seems that because of the climate of Iran and because of the height and the view of this part, it can be guessed that this type of road construction is not for traffic. Other reasons, maybe the driver are drivers of this type of construction. So we are going to talk about this problem and in three parts. The first, the story of the anaconda. This anaconda, I mean this snake on the heights of southern heights of Mashhad. The second, lessons learned, which we have from the story, and hopes and fears in the future. So this is the anaconda. I mean, in the southern part, you see these heights, and this belt, its name is South Belt, is in our concentration tonight. So, as I told you, Mashhad already has a ring road in the northern part. But as you see in the northern part, there are not very valuable lands which have some improvements, heights, good climate. But in southern part and western part, the lands are very valuable for high-income people. So this belt can work if there is true traffic from Mashhad. Yes, this belt can work, but they insist on the southern part, and we are going to talk about it. We have a timeline, a detailed timeline, but I promise that don't get you tired with the timeline and the details. The start of the story is from 35 years ago, from 1989. The initial idea was born. It is not mentioned in the Mashhad master plan in 1993. In Iran, we have different master plans. One urban planning master plan, the other transportation master plan. In 1993 and 94, in none of the master plans, this belt is not appeared. The first footprint of this anaconda is in 2000. It means about 11 years afterwards. The city council approval for the construction is in 2006. And the construction process of 12 kilometers was in 2012. So the first appearance of the anaconda on the southern part is about 12 years ago. Two segments, more than 20 kilometers. In 2016, it appears in the master plan, but at that year, the explosions for the construction of new phases made people to claim about the noise, claim about the fears of children and other parts of families. So the first claim about the construction was in 2016. The continuation of the construction. And in 2018, NGOs enters, as you know, enter the dragon. Here enter the NGO. The NGO's entrance in 2018 changed the routine of this project. I mean, naturally, this type of project with any claims can continue in developing countries, maybe in other countries, but in my context, they can continue. And this type of claims are not very seriously for the local government or national government, mainly not very important. But this story differs, and now we are going to talk about how NGOs collaborate and solve the problem, which in my viewpoint was impossible because of the very strong drivers. You see the heights and the lands which after construction of the highways can add to the city, and the lands that can to residential, high-income residential parts. So this very strong drivers we had, but at 2018, the NGOs, these are in Farsi, they are the main aspect of the message is about environment. He says development without evaluation, without assessment, without environmental assessment is impossible, and other parts. So this NGO, an environmental NGO, starts the work, and the problem was interesting for some other people. In 2019, a dispute resolution group by the local government, by the governor, I mean the province leader, we call it in Farsi Ostandar, in your context maybe governor, or in American culture it is governor. This dispute resolution started to solve the problem in 2019. But for transportation experts like me, we have a black box beside us. When the situation is worsening, we use that black box and say, this is not your expertise, you don't know anything. We have very complicated models that can estimate volumes you don't know in 10 years, in 20 years later, what would be happen. This type of maps can shock environmental specialists. Oh, I know about environment, I know about some legal things, but traffic engineering, the predicting models in transportation planning, I don't know about trip distribution, about modal split. I'm not what is traffic assignment, what is dynamic traffic assignment, what is vehicle occupancy. So, oh, maybe you're right, so I give up. Especially if
با توجه به شبیه سازی که اینجا انجام دادن، شما اعداد و ارقام رو باش تشکیک گفتین، مکتوبش هم هست، پیوست مطالعات هم هست با در واقع تمام بخش‌های و پیشنهادات جامعه حمل و نقل. این داره اتفاق میفته. زمان سفر در شبکه به صد حذف بزرگراه 17.9% زیاد میشه که این رقم فوق‌العاده رقم بزرگی است و اصلا همین آیتم کافیه که کاملا این قضیه رو توجیه کنه. افزایش آلاینده ها 9.2% ناشی از افزایش مسافت پیمایش یا کندی حرکت در شبکه و همون چیزی که شما فرمودین مطالعات مبنایی داره.
So they call an expert and say this money is for you. Can you justify our plan? Yes, of course. I have a black box. I will do it for you. And he says, after construction of the highway, we have analyzed 17% decrease in travel time overall Mashhad with 3.2 million inhabitants. Wow, 17%. If we couldn't construct this highway, we will lose 17% of travel time of our population. It is very bad. 10% in fuel consumption, 10% in emissions, which emission you know for Middle East and the South of Asia, air pollution is very, very critical. So maybe one said, yes, we should accept it. 10% is very, very valuable for us. So hiring this type of consultant, I think overall the world is not very hard, and you can find a consultant that justify the idea. They said the change in total travel time, the effect of South Highway, a 20-kilometer highway, is 17.9%. It means if you can't construct it, you lose 17% of travel time. It is very bad. Average network speed, emissions, and fuel consumption, if you do nothing about the South world. If you have it, if you don't have it. So these numbers with these digits are very fearing for a person who is not a specialist in the transportation. So another enter the dragon.
ای کاش از دوستان سازمان ترافیک
When I was younger without breath.
تو جلسه حضور داشتن، چون من میدونم این دوستان افراد زحمتکش و توانمندی هستن. اما گفت که حق رو بگید حتی اگر بر خلاصه خلاف جهت شما و به ضرر شما باشه. واقعیت اینه که متاسفم بنده هم به عنوان یک کارشناس ترافیک عرض بکنم عددی که به عنوان کاهش زمان سفر شبکه گفته شد که حدود 17%، 10% کاهش مصرف سوخت، 10% کاهش انتشار آلاینده، متاسفم نباید قطعی بگم ولی به احتمال قریب به یقین این غلطه و این خیلی خطرناکه که اگر مبنای تصمیم باشه. امکان نداره که حالا در واقع حالا به قول خانم دکتر میر مقتدایی اگر از شیوه پژوهشی بخوایم استفاده بکنیم خیلی بعید به نظر میرسه که هیچ جای دنیا کاری داشته باشیم که با 20 کیلومتر 20 و چند کیلومتر بزرگراه اضافه کردن، نه خط مترو و شبکه مترو که اون همین تاثیر رو نمیتونه بذاره، 17.9% زمان سفر کمش. متاسفانه غیر ممکنه. هرچند که باید مدل دیده بشه، اما همچین پدیده‌ای رو ما تا حالا ندیده بودیم. طرح‌های جامعه تهران، کرج، اصفهان نگاه کردیم، دیدیم با اضافه شدن در واقع شبکه مترو، اضافه شدن در واقع شبکه سواری چه اتفاقی میفته. یعنی نزدیک 1/5 حالا 1/6 زمان سفر کم میشه. خیلی حرف عجیبیه. متاسفم به نظر من امکان نداره.
So, what did the NGO do? The NGOs called other experts who can stay in front of and against the consultant of the project. So we were not paid, but when they told us this is a problem, we review the studies and participate in this meeting. As you see, the meeting is in July 2020 in the pandemic. So it was an online meeting, not a meeting, an online meeting. So this session and other works with NGOs did in the timeline we can see it. This changed the game. After this skeptical points, which haven't any answer for this question, eliminating the main road role from the constructed South Belt in the blueprints was in December 2020. As a quotation from Vox, planners lie with numbers. Unfortunately, it can be true in most of the situations. The most effective planner, it means I'm an efficient planner. I can justify everything you want, so let me do it for you. The most effective planner is sometimes the one who can cloak advocacy in the use of scientific to technical rationality. Bent Floyberg, maybe many of you maybe know him, a Danish professor. He works on mega projects in developed countries, hundreds of mega projects in developed countries, not in developing countries. And his work shows that misrepresentation means lying with the numbers, systematic underestimation of costs, systematic overestimation of benefits, systematic underestimation of time period of construction is not a random phenomena. It is systematically occurred over all the world. More than 103 countries are examined, but when developed countries are segregated, then in developed countries it can be seen again. So, who is this lady? I will introduce her to you. After the skeptical, when the black box was, they lost their black box, everything get better. This lady is Miss Sadiq. Her family name is like the name of Muhammad Sadiq Aminian, but her surname is. She was the deputy of urban planning and architecture of road and housing ministry at that time. Now, hopefully, she is the minister. And now, today, she is the Minister of Roads and Housing in Iran. Maybe not very, maybe strange, but this lady is a very powerful, honest, and a very nice lady. And she solved some of the unsolved problems in urban planning puzzles of Iran. So, she started after this event, she started to writing to the mayor, to the governor, to ask the governor and the mayor of Mashhad to send another planned and the master plans reviewed, the blueprints changed. So finally, this letter, which 104 academia and practitioners write to her, to Supreme Council of Urban Planning, where the deputy of urban planning and architecture, this lady was the president of this council. This letter was signed, as my wife said, was signed by 104 academia and practitioners. So it was not the story of one expert, two experts, or three, more than 100. Now it was very hard for a consultant to justify again and to escape our estimations. So, as there are some destructions, as you see this anaconda on the heights, but hopefully the mayor of Mashhad was very genius and intelligent. He knew that the game is over. So he changed his direction, and a project which name was Kooh-Park, means mountain park, a park embedded in a mountain. This project starts, you see some of the photos, the kites, families with the, not Persian carpet, but something like that. Even in some celebration, ritual ceremonies, you see this highway changed to a park with different uses. And finally, this is not a very great and interesting picture, but it changed to parking for access to the mountain and the viewpoint. I know Professor Knaflacher doesn't like this type of photos, but I want to say that through traffic omitted and it changed to a final destination. It is not a facility for going through, but this Kooh-Park is a destination itself. So the lessons learned in this case, as Mahsima said, expertise, it means environmental NGO, if was alone, couldn't stay in front of the okay, I want to use another word, against the traffic experts. If I say about environmental problems, he says, the expert in traffic engineering said, yes, environment is very important, but if we construct it in, 10% of air pollution would reduce. It is for environmental aspects, and you should take care about it. So, legal and bureaucratic knowledge, writing letters to different parts of government, and not only in the media, but register the letters everywhere and then publish it in the media was a very interesting idea. The relationship with media and campaign, mobilizing experts, more than 100 academia and practitioners signed it, and it was important for them. So it was from the knowledge and from the genius of the NGOs that could mobilize this type of people. NGOs collaboration. In this story, there is not only one NGO. I will show you more than 20 NGOs were collaborate, not all of them from Mashhad, from different parts of Iran. And influencing on national and local decision makers, Ms. Sadiq and the mayor of Mashhad, both of them were genius and know that it is better for them to stand with the right side. One of our colleagues in University of Tehran, Dr. Jaberi, we have a very short video from him. he's speaking, and his speech has some sense of humor. With this introduction, I invite you to.
نکته هم عرض بکنم این مطلبی که گزارشی که من نمیدونم چقدر موثقه که یه بزرگراه 10% آلودگی هوا رو کاهش میده، اگر یه همچین چیزی وجود داشته باشه شما این طرح رو میتونید به عنوان طرح نمونه جهانی معرفی کنید و کلی جایزه بگیرید. از همه جای دنیا بیان یاد بگیرن از ما، همه جای دنیا بیان یاد بگیرن که یه بزرگراه میتونه آلودگی هوا رو 10% کاهش بده، 10% کاهش بده و کلی منافع دیگه هم برای شهر داشته باشه. خب این باعث تعجب و اعجاب همه متخصصین در سراسر دنیا، حتی مهندسین ترافیک خواهد بود. این فرصت رو به نظر من استفاده بکنید. اگر واقعا اینجوریه من اصلا هیچ چیزی ندارم اجرا بشه، 2 برابر اجرا بشه. یعنی اگر یه همچین بزرگراهی ما داریم و یه همچین محاسباتی ما توی مشهد داریم، 2 برابرش اجرا بکنیم. مثلا کل دور مشهد رو اینو بزنیم، چون احتمالاً حذف میکنه دیگه. اگر این قدش 10% حذف بکنه، یه چند تا دیگه بزنی 50-60% آلودگی هوا رو کم میکنه، مصرف بنزین هم کم میکنه. میگم اگر یه هم چیزی هست با اطمینان خدمتتون عرض میکنم که همین امشب گزارششو برای APA بفرستید، طرح نمونه جهانی میشه و کلی میتونیم روش مانور بدیم و بقیه رو بهشون آموزش بدیم واقعا اگر یه همچین اتفاقی افتاده.
So another expert from another area, urban planner, transport planner, environmentalist, many different specialists, so they see it is very dangerous if they want to continue the game. This is the letter of NGOs. More than 20 NGOs signed it. It was one of the most important ones. So at the end, hopes and fears. In this story, it seems that NGOs and people were successful to return this area to the public space. It seems, and because I know Iranian culture, as I told you, the story is for 35 years ago. I know in Mashhad there are many people, they are thinking how to change the plan again, how to gain from the lands beside it. I know there are. But it seems that it was successful, but we have hopes and fears. You see, maybe here. Maybe these are hopes and these are fears.
This is a project, or
this is near the. This is very near to the project. Yes, this is the Anaconda,
yes,
and it's in northern part, right side from here.
These have been.
Yes, these have. But they want the more heights. If the Anaconda is here, so the southern part hills, they are accessible again, and they can continue this step by step eating the mountain. There are globally, there are 4 drivers that mega projects like South Belt highways are interesting for the whole society. It is from the Freiburg work. The first is political. It means a politician, we say in Farsi, he wants to fly the elephant. It means I want to do a vow work, so I should fly the elephant. This elephant flight is a very, very strong motivation for politicians to do such projects. Every mega project may be useful project, may be not useful, but is a very strong driver from the viewpoint of politicians. The second driver is economic driver. It means it has construction, it needs construction contractors, the flow of money we have, maybe some lands can be eaten and get into buildings, and not buildings for social building apartments, buildings for high income. As you see, Mashhad is a flat city, and these heights in the south part are very interesting for them. I'm not sure.
Why high-rise is the ground so expensive there?
Yeah. Yeah, and there is a very tricky point. If I want to do a big job here, I want to have partners. Okay, some of the lands go to some workers in some organizations. Okay, now I'm not alone. There are many stakeholders. These stakeholders, when I want to continue the project, I say there are more than 500 families, they want their apartments. So with those, I can gain other lands. This is a strategy, the strategy of conflict, providing or preparing conflict between households, between people, normal citizens, and the local government. Because of the local government fears, it says, okay, it is done, so I can't do anything more. So I'm going to finalize. Sorry, I think I passed. Another one is technological. Technological, it is in our Arab neighbors, it is very interesting. This is the largest, fastest, best. And in Tehran, not only Arab, in Tehran last Saturday, we have a session. I was in Vienna, I couldn't attend in the session. A tunnel with 9.5 kilometers length in the center of Tehran to south. This project is going to be started, and we are going to suspend it. But I hope after my return to Tehran, I should struggle with the mayor and his colleagues. So this is the longest urban tunnel in Western Asia. It is very interesting for engineers, for politicians. We have it. It is mine. This is another driver, and the final aesthetic. So normal people, normal citizens, ordinary citizens like to say in our city, the longest, the largest, the best. So this driver, by from normal citizens, the attention of normal citizens, and by support from them. So, all these drivers are over all the world. We have them over all the world. It means we should be aware that there are iron rules about the mega projects: underestimating costs, overestimating benefits, and underestimating the time of construction. It is usually common between this type of projects, and is one of the fragile parts of, one of the weak parts of the projects that we can attack them to suspend bad projects maybe. The lying or misrepresentation with the numbers, unfortunately, is one of our duties as planners. Maybe some planners or most of planners may do that, but we should know this trick and have the anti-trick for that. And finally, NGOs in Iran in the field of urban planning, now they are more active. These small successes make them more braveheart, and they can do better. This project continues with some smaller and larger projects in Shiraz, again in Mashhad, in Tehran. Now we're fighting about a tunnel in the center part of Tehran. And questioning mega projects in the field of transportation is one of our duties, which we have defined for us, and we serve the NGOs without any payment. We collaborate with NGOs without any payment because we know that they have enough money to pay, but we help them in the technical reports, in attacking to the reports which are full of jargons and full of numbers that NGOs do not know anything about it. Thank you very much. Thank you.